Lean's point about the possibility here of war crimes. I mean, even the fact that there are officers who are having that conversation tells you about the 5-alarm fire that we are in, because the Trump administration claims they can lawfully kill people simply because they are suspected of drug trafficking like enemy troops instead of arresting them for prosecution. Does that match your understanding of the law?
No, not American law and not international treaties to which we are a signatory. Basically, the president, and I want to kind of foot stomp behind Paul here about a plan. The American president has said, I can point the U.S. military any place I want and kill anyone I want. That eventually is going to become a principle in the domestic use of the military.
Yes.
The media, the enemy of the people. The fake news media, MSNBC. You just can't make this up, man. Now you see how they put that, how they didn't spin that, how they made that sound. This is why people have turned the TV off. This is why people say the hell with the media. This is why.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
All I could do is shake my head, man. You know, once again, here we are. MSNBC strikes again. You just can't make this up, man. But this is why so many now say they hate the media. They hate the news. They hate, you know, the MSNBCs, the CNNs, like everything. They just don't want to turn it on. This is why. You're sick of the fear-mongering, the gaslighting, the same propaganda rhetoric, the same anti-Trump, you know, the same lies, misinformation, disinformation. Hell, they just invited Robert De Niro on a couple days ago to spew his Trump derangement syndrome and call people once again Nazis. Live on television, calling people Nazis. People in Trump administration are Nazis. I mean, man, you just can't make this up, you know? But now MSNBC says President Trump will start using the military to kill any person he wants in any location inside the United States. You know? It is insane what they will say to defend narco-terrorists. You know, MSNBC reports President Trump plans to deploy the military to eliminate individuals of his choosing anywhere within the United States. You just can't make this up. Just in, viewers are demanding an immediate retraction after MSNBC claims President Trump is now plotting to deploy the military nationwide to kill anyone he wants within the country. You can't hate these people enough. You know, when we've seen their coverage on a lot of things on this administration, we've seen their coverage with the assassination, you know, and once again, hosts are fired because they just can't get it right. We've seen hosts get fired after their takes. They just can't get it right. A man just lost his life, and the first thing you can say is that it was Trump supporters. It was MAGA. It was conservatives. It was MAGA who killed them. Somebody in the audience of one of his Trump supporters shot the gun to kill Charlie Kirk. You cannot take this network serious, man. And look and just look how they've covered a lot of things. You cannot take this network serious. Just evil. and deranged. You know, and it's anti-Trump on everything. Trump can do the best thing for the country, and it's just, and just watch how they come out and report on it. The best thing can be done for the country, for the American people, and watch how they come out and report on it. They will still criticize. They will still say something, you know, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. You know, just being real.
Your brain and my brain have gone to the exact same place.
They are accusing Donald Trump of, well, trying to establish in Americans' minds that he has the authority to kill anyone, anywhere. He is not attempting to do any of this, needless to say, but this is one of the most reckless and dangerous segments I've ever seen. Okay, so infamous Never Trumper Tom Nichols of The Atlantic is on MSNBC, soon to be MS Now, because they have trashed their brand so terribly that, well, their parent networks, Comcast and NBC, the mothership there, they probably don't want to be associated with them anymore, and who is to blame them? But apparently they're trying to incite political violence against Trump and Trump supporters. There is no other way to interpret this, because carrying out airstrikes against narco traffickers who are trying to kill Americans, that is the job of the commander-in-chief. They can whine that it is against domestic law and international law, and you don't have...
Again, y'all seen the reporter inside the Oval Office say Trump about, you know, asked him about the boats being blown up. He says, well, stop sending drugs to the United States, and you won't see any more boats blown up. You won't see any more strikes. Stop sending it to the United States. Trump gave a direct answer. He was very clear. You know, the man has told you time and time again. When is it gonna click?
Have to go to a court to get permission to take out drug traffickers who are coming in illegally into the United States. And I think this is the source of the misunderstanding, well, alleged misunderstanding. You are not allowed to enter the United States illegally. I know this is really, really hard for leftists to understand, but if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. And I think, well, I'm paraphrasing someone you might know. It's that alleged hard right conspiracy theorist, Bernie Sanders. Yeah, he just said if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. Huh, interesting coming from a socialist. And Tom Nichols and the gang at MSNBC, they know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to stoke political violence. I'm just going to call it like it is. You do not say these kind of things unless your intention is to fearmonger the mentally unstable people in this country to commit acts of violence. And why is that? Because Trump is cutting off the international slush funds that Tom Nichols' buddies rely on. They suck on it like teats, and they just fleece American taxpayers. And that's what these international NGOs do. That is what their purpose is. They are there to fleece taxpayers. And when you have NRI, NDI, all of these international organizations that have been cut off along with the USAID, well, they are going to say anything they can to get those tens of billions of dollars in ill-gotten gains back again. They also want to see tens of millions of illegal aliens stay in the United States so they can pump up their phony census numbers, and also to get them amnesty so that they can eventually vote for Democrats who are, quite frankly, trying to break the U.S. economy and run us into so much debt that, well, it's going to collapse the dollar and it will cause a worldwide catastrophe. And that's when socialists, they try to take power, because then they promise all sorts of goodies and freebies for everyone. And of course there's strings attached. It just means slavery to the state. And we've seen that over and over again. China, Laos, Cambodia, Ethiopia, Russia, the entire Soviet bloc, Venezuela. We see this over and over again, and American people should not be falling for it. This is an old playbook. And if you read history, you are not fooled one bit by what the Democrats are doing. They're trying to paint Trump as a fascist. That's an old communist playbook. It comes from the 90s.
We must fight fascism. I tell you, man, but I just don't get how you can say this live on television and put it this way. You know, when people they think the American people are stupid, they do. But this is why people have turned off the TV, MSNBC. This is why.
On Helene's point about the possibility here of war crimes, I mean, even the fact that there are officers who are having that conversation tells you about the 5-alarm fire that we are in, because the Trump administration claims they can lawfully kill people simply because they are suspected of drug trafficking like enemy troops instead of arresting them for prosecution. Does that match your understanding of the law?
No, not American law and not international treaties to which we are a signatory. Basically, the president, and I want to kind of foot stomp behind Paul here about a plan. The American president has said, I can point the U.S. military any place I want and kill anyone I want. That eventually is going to become a principle in the domestic use of the military.
Yes.
He is acclimating people to the notion that the military is his private army, unconstrained by law, unconstrained by norms, unconstrained by American traditions. And that, I don't really think this has anything to do with drugs. I mean, sometimes I wonder how far he's going to go to stop the release of the Epstein files and how many distractions he's going to throw at us. But this is about getting out from under his already dismal record, his record low approval ratings, his struggling with a scandal. And he is now saying, I am going to acclimate the American public to the use of military force anywhere I deem it appropriate under any circumstances. And I may well, the president may be thinking, I may well have us in a war by the time the elections roll around, which will enable me to say any opposition to me and my party is basically treason and unpatriotic.
Tom Nichols, your brain and my brain have gone to the exact same.
You just can't make this up. What do y'all think of this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a time to be alive.